Hey traders, David Frost, My Strategic Forecast. You're here for another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis. Today is Wednesday, March 5, 2025. We're looking at a daily chart of the SPY or Spider, which is the proxy for the S&P 500. What do we have on the docket today? We have a lot of stuff on the docket today. In fact, we're going to have an interesting discussion that marries what we'll call as my methodology together with the whole tariff schmariff situation. And note this, write this down, tariff schmariff is in fact a technical term. Really just the schmariff part. So everybody wants to attribute each and every move to the market on the current news cycle, which has to do with tariffs. Are we going to impose tariffs on Mexico, China, as well as Canada? Are we not? Are we delaying them? Is there a stay? Is there a month reprieve for certain industries like the car makers? All that stuff. And everybody wants to attribute each and every move in the market to what's going on in the news cycle, the media cycle, as it relates to the tariffs. Let me offer something just a little bit different. Yesterday and the day before, we've been talking about the fact that the market has been coming into an on-time type of situation. Now, if you don't know what that means, you've likely haven't taken my courses, you haven't learned from me. We have a time is more important than price system, and that coincides with an on-time situation, meaning market can move in a certain amount of time, and then we look for a reversal situation. So yesterday we came into an on-time type of situation, which means, and that's on the daily chart, which means that today we were looking for what's called a reversal. If you remember this thumbnail from the video last night, signal of a low, that's what we were referring to. Did we get a low? At least, if nothing else, a temporary low. Well, if you've taken my course, MSF Masterclass Series, Lazy E-Mini Trader, learned from me over the years, you would know exactly what we're referring to. But wait, there's more. Let's take a look at this 4-hour chart, which is also in an on-time type of situation, but even at a more important number. Funny how that works. We'll keep things simple and take our cues from the daily chart. Now, yes, they did come up short of the 200 period moving average. And what I teach traders in the live room is they like to screw two factions of traders when coming into an important spot. Those looking to exit at that important spot on the way down, for example, like in this case, and those looking to enter at an important spot. So they come up short, they leave two factions of traders standing at the altar, and that's the way Mrs. Market screws two factions of traders. This is also sponsored by the Trick, Trap, Fool, and Frustrate crew. Remember, the market's job is to make as many traders and investors look like fools as much of the time as possible. That's the main objective. If this bottom, even temporary or not, is going to hold, what we're looking for tomorrow is what's called in the trading parlance as follow-through. Taking a look once again at the weekly chart, and we'll notice a couple of important areas one more time. Weekly chart, breakup candle low. This is going to be extremely / uber important based on where they close the week. Will they close above or below that particular breakup candle low? There's another one right down here. We'll focus on this one for today since they're above it now. And you could see they ran a test. They bounced off of it. There's 2 more trading days in the week. It'll be interesting to see where we close Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Remember the monthly chart we've been discussing? They're eating time off the clock well above all the moving averages. In fact, well above the 20-period moving average, aka also known as home base. Mrs. Market doesn't like to get too far from home base. Therefore, going sideways for a while, letting home base creep up to price is garden variety market behavior. We'll also keep in mind this particular breakup candle low from the monthly chart. As long as The month ends above that candle. She's just eating time off the clock, going sideways. Nothing wrong with that. It's garden variety market behavior. There's a lot of runway left in the month of March. We're not really worried about that right now. I'm just pointing it out so that you have the knowledge. Knowledge is what? Repeat after me. Knowledge is power. You might want to write that down, put it on a sticky note. When I was a young lad in school, my father cut that out of the newspaper. It said knowledge is power, and he put it over my desk, and it stayed there for years and years and years. Turns out to be a true statement. Let's check out what went on today inside the numbers. I'll tell you right up front, she came up short of numbers above, short of numbers below today by pennies, a couple of 3, 4, 5 times. That's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. We're not going to cry over spilt milk. It's not really even spilt. She just came up short of some numbers, not allowing us to get preferred entries. Our bull pivot came in today at 581.45. Above on candle closes, opens the door for another leg higher toward what? 583.85. Let's just see where those two numbers pan out. There's your bull pivot, and as you can see, came up short here in the afternoon, but look what happened here late in the day. They ran a test of the bull pivot late in the day, close to 4 p.m., and then what? Ricocheted off of it, telling you that that number is in fact important. The second number we were looking at was 583.85. Now, as you can see, this number was in fact A, magnetic, and B, overhead resistance. What I urge you to do is pause the video, review the notes, review the numbers, go back to the charts to double check the work. Still at 8:30 a.m., an hour, solid hour before the opening bell, we have a 574.50. Let's see what happened to 574.50. Lo and behold, look at here. Came up close, rallied away, made a higher low, but came back to get it later in the morning, spiked it, and ripped it back up in the other direction. We'll give that one a funny how that works, or you can also select how do you like dem apples. Again, pause the video, read the notes, go back to the chart to double check the work. All the numbers are in here each and every day. Everything you need to be successful trading the S&P, the SPY, options on the SPY, futures contract, micro contracts, anything you want that's a directional trade relating to the S&P and or all the other markets we cover. Qs, small caps, gold, oil, natural gas, SMH, the semi-space, GDX, bonds. It goes on and on and on. If you're a trader, we've got the numbers. Here's your list of markets. Pause the video, jot down some numbers, see how the market reacted in and around any of these numbers. It's not going to hit all of them each and every day. These are A, important numbers, and B, if price is below their resistance, if price is above their support. That makes them important numbers. We also have stocks on the move. Had 3 today. CrowdStrike, Campbell Soup, and ANF, Abercrombie, and Fitch. We're going to take a look at CrowdStrike and CPB. As you can see, this zone was supported / defended today in CrowdStrike. We actually had in the live room one more number, and they hit it basically to the penny, and then they reversed back up in the other direction. We certainly had some money made from members for CrowdStrike today. About 38.29 after the haircut in Campbell's, spiked it, ripped it back up in the other direction. This is one of those that you had to have an order in the pre-market, not to buy in the pre-market, but you had to have an order staged because they hit it right after the bell rang. They hit it and they ripped it. Here's a 1-minute chart, and you could see market open, right down into the number, ripped it back up in the other direction, and literally within minutes, you had a $1.50 gain, $1.30 gain, whatever it is. That's not bad for a scalp in CPB. What's going on with the small caps? Camp IWM. Yesterday, we flagged a sign and or signal of a trend change right here. This is one of the things I teach in the MSF Masterclass series. What do they look like? This is one of them. There's plenty. What do you do with them? How do you put it together with time? Time is more important than price. We did get the turn that would have been expected from that. Tomorrow we're looking for what? Repeat after me. Follow through. This is pretty much doing what we talked about last night. On par. No material change other than they're doing the thing. Be interesting to see where they finish up the week, Friday's close. This is the weekly chart. Those of you that understand and have listened to me and learned from me how symmetry works, this market here isn't far, based on the current low, the recent low, isn't far from what's called market symmetry. Market symmetry puts them right at 200, big fat round number, convergence of a 100 and 200 period moving average. You have another big time weekly chart breakup candle low. So you got three things, and I can probably find two or three more. That creates what we call in the trading parlance, at least my parlance, a full stack. Little bit of a turn today in the team transport camp. Now here we're below all the moving averages, so you got to be careful. This is a downtrending tape. You go to the weekly chart, and certainly they're close to the last moving average in the line of defense. In this case, it's a 200 period moving average. Got to be careful. Give that up. Give up the 200 period moving average, and it opens the door for another leg lower. Symmetry also comes into play. Market symmetry doesn't really take hold until they're below the 200 period moving average. Market symmetry is very, very, very important. It pays to learn how that works. Why do we follow the transports? It's my second favorite market leading indicator next to the IWM, which is number one, but the transports are my favorite canary in the coal mine. The transports are a good gauge of the economic activity, of the economy. Planes, trains, and automobiles moving stuff around the world, around the country. You want to pay attention to the transports. It's a tell. What about the tech space, the Q people? Look how they came up short yesterday of 486.85. We talked about that. Put in a sign and or signal of a trend change. It was in fact, yes, an on-time type of situation. We had a trend reversal today. We're looking for what? Again, repeat after me. We're looking for follow through. If we get any follow through tomorrow into Friday, we're going to have a lot of profits clicking off from the lazy swing trader automagical algo system. How do I know that? Because we're close on a few and she was buying on the way down. How you doing? How does she know? It's a secret. What about the financial complex, the XLF? They're not going to make a federal case out of this, up 30 cents today, 0.5%. That's a decent day, but it's still lagging the S&P as a whole. SPX was up a little over 1%, SPY a little over 1%. Clear up some of the noise. You go to the weekly chart. What do? They came to backtest the 20 period moving average, aka home base. No revelation. That is in fact garden variety market behavior. Last 2 days, I gave traders in the live room the number that would bounce the tape in the XLF. It was 49.50. What was the low of day today? It was in fact 49.56, missed it by 6 cents, but in fact did rip it back up in the other direction. You can see here on a short-term chart what happened. Here's 49.56. Once they got there, they just came up a little bit short of my number, but they reversed and trended back up in the upward direction for the remainder of the day. 49.50 was given out yesterday. Live room members. SMH looking at an on-time situation. Trend change like the others, looking for what? You betcha, follow through. They're below all the moving averages on the daily chart, so the trend is obviously down. You look at the weekly chart, trend is turned down. Below the 50 period moving average, trend is turned down. Here's where they are relative to the last weekly chart breakup candle low. Staying above it would be constructive, as they say in the trading parlance. Remember, monthly chart, eating time off the clock going sideways. Yeah, you got a bunch of tails here, but does it matter when they're above all the moving averages? No, the trend is your friend until your shit gets thrown out the window. Above all the moving averages, it's in an uptrend, still has yet to run a test of the 20-month moving average. Hasn't touched it since when? May of 2023. Of note, puzzle piece on the table. All depends on the perspective you want to take with these charts. You want to look at a fast chart. You want to look at a short-term chart. You want to look at a long-term chart. Where are your moving averages? Where is the chart relative to the time frame you're looking at? The moving averages, are they in an uptrend? Are they in a downtrend? Are they turning, ing, in italics? All those things you have to take into account. And by the way, have I told you how much I appreciate each and every one of you? Without you, these videos are not possible. That is true and accurate information. We're pulling the ripcord here today. I'm David Frost, My Strategic Forecast. Thanks again for tuning in to another episode of Common Sense Market Analysis.